Hey, happy Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Do not forget, I've got this upcoming formal debate with Dr. David Hester, which will be June 15th and 16th in Montgomery, Alabama. Details are on my website. It's supposed to be live streamed, as I understand that. Still waiting for confirmation on that. But you want to be there, all right? If you can't be there, live stream's fine. But be there if you can at all. All right. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 50, Paul said, "Brethren, flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of God, neither does corruption inherit incorruption." Now, an awful lot of people take that to mean that corruption, i.e. this physical body, cannot inherit the kingdom of God. Which kind of raises the question, doesn't it? Are you in a flesh and blood body? Are you in the kingdom? Yeah, raises some questions, doesn't it? Well, that's a side note, all right? Now, what I'm doing is we have begun an investigation. Be sure to go back and watch the first video on this, the previous video, of the relationship between resurrection and kingdom. I shared with you a few initial thoughts from Isaiah 24 and 25 because Isaiah 24 and 25 are some of the foundational resurrection prophecies. Paul's resurrection doctrine of 1 Corinthians 15 is taken directly from Isaiah 25 and verse 8. So when we're discussing resurrection, we're discussing Isaiah. That's the way Paul taught. Now, I shared with you that in Isaiah 24 and 25, we have the prediction of the destruction of earth, the time of the judgment, and God ruling gloriously on Mount Zion. Mount Zion, that's the kingdom. You know, it goes back to Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. "It shall come to pass that the mountain of the Lord's house," that's Zion, "shall be established in the tops of the mountains." This is the establishment of the kingdom. Okay, so here we have the establishment of the kingdom. Then, what do we have? The Messianic Banquet. Messianic Banquet where? On Zion, in the kingdom. Verse 8 of Isaiah 25, when would it be? When the Lord would destroy death, which is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 54 and 55. So there's no question whatsoever that there is a direct, unbreakable relationship between Isaiah 24 and 25, 1 Corinthians 15, between resurrection and kingdom. Remember, Isaiah 24, judgment, destruction of earth, kingdom, resurrection. Now, notice this. I shared with you in the previous video that this destruction of earth would be because of Israel's violation of the law of Moses. Isaiah 24, verse 5. It would be when, Isaiah 25, 1 to 3, when the city of Jerusalem and the temple would be turned over to foreigners. Folks, this is not an end-of-time event. Now watch this. The Lord said, Isaiah 25 verse 6, that in that day, what day? The time of the destruction of the city and the temple, the time of the Messianic Banquet, when the Lord would rule gloriously in Zion, i.e. the kingdom, the day of the resurrection, the Lord will make a great feast. Look what it says. "And in this mountain the Lord of hosts will make for all people a feast of choice things, of pieces, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of well-refined wines on the lees. He will destroy death." So the Messianic Banquet, resurrection, and kingdom go absolutely hand in glove. They are Siamese twins that cannot be broken. Now watch this. In Matthew chapter 8, we have the famous story of the centurion and his grievously ill servant. He came to Jesus and said, Master, speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. And Jesus was amazed at his faith and says, I have not found such great faith, no, not in Israel. And verily I say unto you, many shall come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom. What do we have? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob sitting down at the Messianic banquet in the kingdom. See? How would Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob sit down at the kingdom? By being resurrected. Isn't that simple? So here is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Resurrection, sitting at the Messianic banquet, which is Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 6, which is specifically resurrection, Isaiah 25 verse 8. Well, when would this take place? Well, don't forget, Isaiah 25, 1-3, when Jerusalem and the temple would be destroyed and turned over to foreigners. And, watch this, Matthew 8:11, and the sons of the kingdom shall be cast out. So let me ask you a question. When were the sons of the kingdom, i.e. Old Covenant Israel, it's not talking about the sons of the kingdom of Christ being cast out, for crying out loud. No. When were the sons of the kingdom cast out? Well, they were to be cast out for persecuting the new covenant seed, Galatians 4:22. That means they were not cast out at the cross. They were cast out for persecuting the new covenant seed, the true seed of Abraham, Galatians 4:22 and following. And that was at no other time than when the city and the temple was turned over to foreigners and destroyed, Isaiah 25, 1-3. Folks, we have here absolute definitive proof that the resurrection of 1 Corinthians 15, to be the fulfillment of Isaiah 25, it would be when the city and the temple would be destroyed, turned over to foreigners. It would be when the Messianic banquet would be established, and the Messianic banquet would be established when Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, resurrected, sit down at the Messianic banquet in the kingdom, when the sons of the kingdom would be cast out. I mean, folks, this is incredible, and it's irrefutable. If you want to see a development of this and a whole lot more, and especially Matthew chapter 8, as it relates to Isaiah and the prediction of the resurrection, get a copy of my book, The Resurrection of Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, Fulfilled or Future. I want to tell you what, folks, this book contains an incredible wealth of information on the resurrection. You will be absolutely amazed at how powerful, how clear, how definitive the evidence is to prove the resurrection occurred in AD 70. Go to my website, donkpreston.com or BibleProphecy.com. Order the book, The Resurrection of Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, Fulfilled or Future. Order the book. Send me a note that says you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Well, we've got more on Paul's statement that flesh and blood does not inherit the kingdom. That is the relationship between resurrection and kingdom. So we will see you on the flip side.